Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Sheff United Way. We're talking about the big one, the derby. We're very excited for it. We'll obviously be nervous on the day, but I'm here with Sheffield Wednesday YouTuber and actually podcaster James Mappin, aren't you?
Yeah, more podcast than YouTube, but you've got to move with the times, haven't you? You've got to do this sort of thing. And I do have a face for radio, but you've got to put it on YouTube some now and again, haven't you? But you know what I mean.
You've stolen my joke already. Thank you for that. But we're talking about obviously Wednesday versus United at Hillsborough. I'm going to throw the same question back at you as you've just asked me on your channel. Why are you so excited about this derby? Because we're always really nervous about it.
It's not, well, you said this derby is the only derby. There isn't any other one, is there? Even though, our dear friends at North Sheffield like to say that there's one there, and your dear friends at Rotherham like to say that that's a derby as well. But this is the only one. And when you say this one, I think you're using it collectively, not just this fixture that's coming up, because I think, I do look forward to them. I know quite a lot of people don't, and I don't really get it at all. It's always the fixture that you look forward to when the fixtures come out. It's the first one you look at. I mean, all right, you might see the first game of the season just by virtue of it being the first one. But after that, you're looking at when are we playing United? When are we playing them at Hillsborough? When are we playing them at the Lane? You're making sure that I know the game gets changed now. It's never on the day when it says it's going to be, but you're making sure that you're available for that weekend. I just love the buzz around it, like the build up to it. I think again with this being an international break, there's a more chance of like bigging the fixture up. I mean, the fact that we are both down there at the bottom isn't great, but no, it's going to be I'm sure it's going to be a sellout at Hillsborough as well, which is always going to be nice. And I just love it. The banter. I've got family and friends that are unfortunate to be Unitedites, and it's just having that banter with them again at work as well. Again, some Unitedites there. I know people always throw that word obsessed around and stuff, but when you live that close to it all, and there are friends and family, you can't get away from it. So yeah, I love this fixture. It's all about the bragging rights. Unfortunately, we've not had those bragging rights for quite some time, which I'm sure we'll get onto. But look, irrespective of that, form goes out the window in these fixtures, and again, it's always one I look forward to.
Yeah, same. And do you know what? It means a little bit more to me this year because I think we've spoken before that I work in Wakefield or used to work in Wakefield. I now work in Sheffield, and we've got that rivalry back at work, which is fantastic. There's lots of Wednesday fans that work for my company, and I just can't wait to walk in there, having beaten Sheffield Wednesday at Hillsborough.
I said, there's lots of them that work there. That because obviously I'll not say the word, I'll not say it, but it's great to know that there's more of them than there is of you.
Never said that. Never said that. There are lots, but there's also lots of Sheffield United fans too. So don't get ahead of yourself. It's gonna be really nervy. But I want to start by asking you: how confident are you on a scale of 1 to
10? 1. Honestly, mate, look. Jokes aside, we are. I know, obviously, we've had the positivity that we've got into administration, and he who shall not be named has now gone from the club. All right, his name might still be there, but he's got no say in any of all of this, and the shackles have come off somewhat, and there was some really dark times, and I must admit I didn't know when it was going to end. We always talk about like the light at the end of the tunnel. There was none. Every time we did see one, it was an oncoming train. And there was times where I thought this could go on for another year maybe, and where we could have ended up, who knows? So that's obviously there's that positivity around it, but the fact of the matter is the squad and on the pitch is exactly the same. Absolutely nothing has changed. All right, yeah. From a mental standpoint and from a from a fan standpoint, yeah, there's that bit more positivity, but we've still got the 12, 13 like professional footballers that are fit to play this game of football, which is not ideal at all. So, when you're asking me the question, am I confident of beating you? We are the massive underdogs. Of course, my heart is saying that we might be able to do something, and it's probably our best chance of doing something for a long, long time as well. But actually, when you look at the two teams on paper, I know I've mentioned that form goes out the window and all that sort of stuff, and it is just a game of football at the end of the day. In terms of it's just 90 minutes of football. I mean, the game is obviously a lot bigger than that. Please don't clip that. But it's I'm not confident at all. You should beat us. That is, and I suppose that's the beauty of football. I'm not going into. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do think about it and go like how amazing would it be if we were to actually beat you, considering the mess that we are in. And I never thought for a minute that you'd be down here with us. Of course, and we were going to be down there. The points deductions that we were going to get, we didn't realise we were going to go into administration, but now we've got that. That's kind of nailed on relegation. But yeah, you look at it and we are struggling. We have 9 games without a win going into it, so you can't exactly say that the form is good either. I mean, the only saving grace is that we haven't really been hammered in many of those games. We've been in most of them at some, right up to the death. We've had a couple of draws thrown in there recently. Should have beaten Norwich. We were in it against West Brom. All right, we went to Southampton and struggled in that one. But yeah, it's just the toll that it's having on the players as well. And I'm thankful that there's an international break because those players have been, will have some sort of rest.
Yeah, from listening to you talk, and we obviously did the preview last season together as well. It feels this season that it's more kind of like we will lose this game unless there's some sort of miracle. That's what I'm taking from what you're saying, reading between the lines. Last season, I felt like you were a lot more confident, but you were throwing it out there saying, "Well, we're the underdogs. If you don't win, it's embarrassing for you." This season, it feels a lot more like we're expected to lose unless something crazy happens. And actually, a lot of Sheffield United fans, this is the most nervous we've been going into a derby, obviously, because we're right down there with you. But how does this game feel compared to previous derbies? Because I've not seen, I don't remember the last time that Sheffield United and Sheffield Wednesday were both in the relegation zone when going into a derby.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said last time, and we had a bit of back and forward saying that there's no pressure on us, and the pressure is all on you. And I think even more so now. The only difference being is that again we're expected to be down here with all the issues that we've had. The transfer embargoes, transfer fee bans, amount of players that we've let go. The squad is a lot worse than what it was last season because we've not brought anyone in and players have left. So. And again, we are at the start of the season. We were expected to be where we are. I think I went on every single, prediction. Every prediction that I did, where you expected to finish, 24th, without a shadow of a doubt. And I think it was, amazing that it took us that long to get to the bottom of the league, thanks to yourselves, which you're eternally grateful for. Yeah, I didn't think it'd take that long to get to the bottom, but here we are. So yeah, for me, I think it's a bit of a free hit. I know I've said how when you said how confident I am, and I'm not confident at all. If you gave me a tenner to put on either team, I'm not going to put it on Wednesday just because I don't think we haven't got the quality and stuff. And I'm being brutally honest with all that. People might not like me saying that, but that is just the fact of the matter. But then, but yeah, it's a free hit. Like literally, it does not really matter. It does matter, obviously, but. We're expected to get beat. If we go out there, a draw would be, a massive positive from our perspective. If we can actually do that. So yeah, it's just go out there, just see what can happen. And I think the players have got to appreciate that as well and play with a little bit of freedom. And I think if I know it's at Hillsborough, so can't exactly quieten you down. But if we can get a goal, or if we can just hold you off for as long as we possibly can, I feel like the fans will turn, your fans will turn. We'll get we'll get behind them, which we're going to do anyway. And you never know what could happen. It's a weird one. Like strange things have happened in football before, and I feel like this is one of those other games where like I said, going into it, no real pressure. We're going to enjoy ourselves, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, and then I feel that the Wednesday kind of crowds really, really got behind you in the last few weeks. It feels like the mood is very much high.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's so much positivity. It's amazing what can happen in, I think it's 2.5 weeks now since administration was called, which should be a dark day for any football club, but actually we were celebrating it. Like I said before, the shackles had come off. You go into administration because you can't pay your debts. It's been announced today as we sit down and record this that we've actually paid some of the debts whilst in administration, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but it just shows how I saw a lot of your lot saying, what's these boycotts going to do? They're not going to do anything, they're not going to force him out of the football club. Well, actually, we've shown that, in coming back and buying the shirts and buying the tickets and things, we've actually been able to, I think they've said that they've got cash flow that up to the end of January to tide us over. We haven't got any like sponsorship money coming in. We haven't got all that sort of stuff. Yes, there is still the money from the, from like the Premier League solidarity payments and TV money and things that's coming through that's going to help. But that's obviously a positive. And yeah, everyone's looking up. Everyone's actually looking forward to things. And there's been news as well that there's 11 interested parties to buy Sheffield Wednesday, and by that I mean there's 11 either individuals or consortiums that have given £50 million proof of funding. That's kind of just to weed out the tyre kickers, so that's quite exciting that there's that many people that are actually interested. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see in terms of how many people, what's going to happen when the bidder gets announced, and when the takeover happens. It's going to be, it's really exciting. But when I look in terms of going into this game, that positivity is obviously there. But like I said to you before, nothing's really changed on the pitch. It's still exactly the same. It's still going to be the same group of players. We've still got the same players that are out injured, which I don't think anyone's going to be coming back. That means that we've got Deschamps Bernard out injured. We've got 𝗣𝗲𝗲, fantastic goalkeeper. So we've got, I'm sure you'll see Ethan 𝗍𝗓 when we play each other a week on Sunday. He's not been great either. There's Nathaniel Shalabar, player that's hardly played for us this season. So there's lots of players that are going to be they're going to be out, and things on the pitch. Whilst the fans are excited and whilst we're all positive, on the pitch, it's not really changed. Genuinely, going into this season, I thought we were going to be the whipping boys, and you probably argue that being bottom of the league and on minus points still, you could say that. But no, we have been in most of the games. There's not been many that have kind of ran away with us. I think, as you saw yourselves, Coventry City, probably the best team that we've come up against so far this season. They made light work of beating us 5-0 in the end, which wasn't great. But other than that, there's not been many teams that have actually beaten us convincingly. It's either been a draw or we've been in the game. It's a 1-goal game, and I look back to Birmingham away from home where we conceded in the last minute. That we should have won that game. I look at Wrexham, that ended up in a 2-2 draw. We had a chance right at the death, a 1-on-1, which if that goes in again, that's another win on the board. So there's been, I suppose, when I was listening to you talk on our channel, a lot of games where it shoulda, woulda, coulda, and things could have been a lot different. But there's a lot of heart and there's a lot of desire in the players. But we've got 6 players that have started every single game so far this season, and when you look to the bench, we've only really got 2 players on the bench that can rotate. Then they're just the strikers that we've got that aren't scoring goals. So you look at the others, and it's just a really young bench. I think the other 7 players on the bench are all, under the age of 20, which is great when you talk about bringing the youth through. But they're not even getting a chance. Clearly, Henrik doesn't think they're good enough. So yeah, it's. Like I said, we've been in the games. There's been chances. We like yourselves, we're not scoring many goals. Our form at Hillsborough is absolutely terrible. We haven't won a game at Hillsborough all season. I mean, we've only won 1 game all season, full stop, and that came against Portsmouth. We don't score many. I think the goal that Barry Bannon scored in midweek against Norwich is only the second or third goal we've scored all season at Hillsborough. So yeah, it's not great, but it could have been a lot worse. And yeah, our aim this season is just to get into the positive, I think, and we need to do that as quickly as we possibly can.
Yeah, and obviously on the flip side, I think everyone expected Sheffield United to be near the top. From the outside looking in, what's your view on Sheffield United's season?
Absolutely wonderful. I'm not gonna like literally we were in for a whole world of pain this season. Obviously, like the administration's coming. I've already spoken about how that's kind of lifted the mood somewhat. But before that, that was the only crumb of comfort, was that we were getting beat every week. We're down at the bottom, but we weren't bottom for quite some time, and the fact that that Wilder had gone, and then Sellers comes in, and then he's not doing it right, and then you go back to Chris Wilder, and he's going to be the saviour, and then that doesn't happen how it's supposed to be, and he's now saying that you've not got a number 9, and he's coming out with all the excuses under the sun. Look, again, from a Sheffield Wednesday perspective, and I'm sure you come to expect this as well. Like, again, I mentioned about the people, the people saying about obsessed and stuff. And we've already spoken about friends and family that are either side of the divide, and it is great to see, you struggling in the way that we are. I mean, we're going down. There's no two ways about it. The run rate that we need to stay up, I think, if you had a full season of the amount of points that we need now, I think it's like top 4 form. And we're talking about a squad that's not even won one game. If you were to also come down with us, and I know there's a lot of football left to play, but again, stranger things that would just be that one of the perfect scenario from a really bad position. But yeah, look, I didn't expect you to be there whatsoever. I didn't think you'd be kind of top 2. I certainly thought you'd be playoffs or hovering around there. So to see you fail quite emphatically, really, is and it keeps going on every week. It's that thing where it'll change, and I know you got 2 wins on the bounce, and you're thinking that's it now. They're going to kick on, and we can no longer laugh at you. But yeah, you're still down there.
Yeah, it feels like it's going to happen. It feels like it's going to happen, and then when it doesn't, it's like, I've been looking at this fixture for a while, thinking that this could be the turning point for us. Obviously, it can't really be the turning point for you guys, because as you just said, you need a lot of points on the board, and you've not got many professional footballers out there and these professional footballers got to play a lot of games of football this season. It's going to be tough for you. But where do you think that Sheffield Wednesday can hurt Sheffield United in this game?
Do you know what? I don't really know. Like we have been struggling. I think just being resolute, I think, is the big thing. I think we have shipped a lot of goals this season, but if we can just keep it quite tight, and I think also as well, if you take the lead and go 1-0 up, as much as you'll like to silence the crowd and things, I think we just got to stick to the game plan, and as long as we don't go 2 or 3 goals behind, I think we're always in the game, especially in these sorts of games as well, where they do kind of ebb and flow, and you will give us chances. I think that's going to be quite evident. We'll give you chances. You're definitely going to give us as well, because you've been quite shaky at the back as well. We've just got to take them, really, and that's something that we haven't really done this season. We haven't got a goal scorer. Barry Bannon's our leading goal scorer with 3. I think we've got George Brown, who's out injured. He's got 2, and we've got Jamal Lowe. He's got 2 as well. But to be fair, the 2 he scored, he tried his best not to score them as well. So I think it is about just we've got to do something that we haven't really done this season, which is take the chances. And I just think the longer that we can just stay in the game, like I said, 1-0 down isn't the end of the world. If we 60, 70 minutes, you can start turning the screw. The problem we've got as well, though, is that the players have played a lot of football. Like I said, the international break is a bit of a saving grace in that they're going to be as fit and refreshed as possible. Saw them all at the darts the other day. I'm not sure if that was on the on the list of things that they need to do to get ready for this game, but certainly certainly trying to relax themselves as much as they possibly can, or take up darts instead. I guess maybe looking at the next venture, maybe. But no, yeah, we're talking about two clubs that are in the bottom three. Like, and you're talking about how one can hurt the other one. One scored 10 goals, the other scored 12. Like, I don't know. Just do something that we've not done all season, I guess.
Okay, maybe an easier question to answer. Where do Wednesday's weaknesses lie? And don't say all over the park.
The weaknesses are in the first 5 or 10 minutes of a game, and the first 5 minutes after half time as well. I don't know what happens when we come out. I think, I looked to the Stoke game where at this point we were still protesting. There was a whistle protest, blow the whistle, try to get the game kind of stopped or disrupted or something to get the eyes on. And Stoke score within a minute of kickoff, which wasn't ideal. And we've had others as well. Just the weekend just gone, we get the game back to 2-1. We're going at half time, and whatever was said at half time clearly didn't work because they score literally within a minute of the second half kicking off, which just kind of knocks all the stuffing out of us, really. And we're always kind of, I know I mentioned we go a goal down and we are still in the game, but it's just an uphill battle every single time. And when we don't score many goals, if you're conceding them, then it's not helping. I mean, the fact that our defence is not the defence that we would have gone with ordinarily. You've got �11𝗲𝗹𝗹 playing in the middle. You've got Liam Palmer playing on the right-hand side. And Max Lowe, obviously a player who we know well. I think he's been one of our better players. He's just been a solid 7 or 8 out of 10 for much of the season. I know you're probably surprised at that, but he has done well and played in a position that it's not his position. Left back is probably where he wants to play, but he's been stuck out at left centre half. But then they're three that Palmer shouldn't be playing there. �11𝗲𝗹𝗃 certainly shouldn't be in the middle of the three either. And like I said, Max Lowe, even though he's done well, he shouldn't be there. So we've got like 3 makeshift defenders really at this point in time, playing slightly out of position, which doesn't help. And the other one is the goalkeeper. I have to mention it. 𝗍𝗵𝗏 is absolutely terrible. I know he's helped us out when we're in the dire straits and we didn't have a goalkeeper. We only had the youngsters to step in, so he's come on emergency loan, but he just can't catch a ball. And that's kind of a fundamental of a goalkeeper, isn't it, really, which is a bit of a problem. He's a good shot stopper. I'll give him that. He can in terms of stopping shots, certainly from range and things, he's all right. He spreads himself quite well, and he can do that. It's everything else that he's just kind of a bit abject at. He doesn't really command his box coming for crosses. If you do have a shot, I mentioned he stops it, but he doesn't hold on to it, and he'll quite often just palm it back out into danger. And again, you talk about the defence. If they're not alert, there's been a couple of times this season where goals have been scored on the rebound, and your defenders have got to be alert to the fact that the keeper's not going to hold on to it every single time. Well, he doesn't hold on to it any time, to be honest. And yeah, we've conceded goals like that, which is just really disappointing. Really, you've done all the hard work. You've stopped the shot. You've got to do the rest. You've got to mop it up. So yeah, that is again our only saving grace is you've scored 10 goals in 15 games. So you're not exactly prolific up top, which hopefully goes in our favour.
I know you touched on it earlier on, but what do you think Wednesday's approach is going to be going into this game? Are you going to sit deep? Are you going to, sit deep, look to counter-attack? Or do you think you're going to go toe-to-toe and, I'm not exactly saying take it to us, but, is it going to be an old-fashioned derby, do you think?
Well, I think kind of to flip it on its head, I think what you're going to try and do is try and get a goal in that first 5 or 10 minutes, which will quieten us down. I've referenced it's going to be a full house a week on Sunday, so I'm sure that's what you're going to try and do, and I think that's what you've been trying to do in some of your games so far this season, start pretty quickly. But we can't just sit back and invite that pressure onto us, because we could be in a whole world of pain 10 or 15 minutes in if we do that. So I think we have got to. I don't like using the phrase "go toe to toe" because I know your gaffer likes to use that quite a bit. But I think we have got to got to give it our best shot early doors and actually try and cause you some problems and make you think about it. And so you have to you can't just have a free rein at it. And I think we've got to try and press you as much as we possibly can, force you into making mistakes, and really stretch the game. And we do play better when we haven't got the ball. I know that sounds mad, but we play better on the counter attack. But the problem you've got is when you've got a big crowd at Hillsborough, sometimes the fans aren't very receptive to that. Let the other team have the ball. So we're going to be. It's going to be interesting to see how we actually approach the game on a week on Sunday. It's going to be, and I would like us to see us try and take the game to you as much as we possibly can. But I think we also have got to be wary. I think it might be a cagey affair as well. I think this could probably going to be either a mistake or a moment of brilliance that's going to just going to separate the two sides, which I think has been the case for the last two games. Really, you could argue it was a moment of brilliance at the lane with that pass that 𝗕𝗿 𝗕𝗿 made to split the defence, and then the goal he scored at Hillsborough. It was a bit of a mistake from �11𝗍𝗍 to let him in, and a deflection that took the ball straight to the man who shall not ever be named for obvious reasons. So I think that is going to be exactly the same this time around. It's going to be something like that that's going to separate it, and hopefully we're on the right end for once.
I will say I don't think you really give Bruce much credit there, because he does kind of run to the front post and then peels off and goes to the back post. So you've got
the
to
ball
say
comes
that's
in, it gets
good movement from the lads.
Mate, he does not know that ball's going to get deflected. All right, he's in the right place at the right time, but the ball comes across. Had that ball had not hit, I think it's 𝗍𝗍, it's going straight into the keeper's arms. So, it was a mistake for �11𝗍𝗍 to get beaten as easily as what he did. To be fair, but that's what I mean. It's not a wonderful goal. I mean, I'm sure you'll probably talk about it for forever and a day, like you do every goal that you score against us. But
yeah, I said the same about you, but I can't remember the last time you scored a goal against us.
We don't talk about the last two that we scored against you, to be fair, for obvious reasons. Once again.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's cap this video off with a lovely old prediction. We all love these score predictions, and they never come to bite us on the backside, do they?
No, never. I'll give you two. My head is saying it's going to be a 0-0. Like, it's going to be a really boring game from a neutral's perspective, and it'll be a 0-0 like most of the other games finish, and we'll go another game without scoring against you. My heart is saying that we'll beat you 2-0. We'll get a goal, and then you'll be throwing the kitchen sink at us, and we'll catch on the break like Coventry did, and score a second. I can't see that happening. It's probably more likely to be a 0-0 than anything. But look, you've got to. It's football. You have to dream sometimes, don't you? And look, it should be a good one nonetheless. Let's just hope there's some goals in it, though.
So 0-0 head, 2-0 heart. None of them are Sheffield United winning this game of football, which the odds will tell us that should happen. So let's see what happens. I'm not going to throw my prediction on this video. And look,
Nick, I'm not going to come on here and say that Sheff United are going to win, though, am I? Come on. Like, I mean, I'm not.
I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to clip you up, take away all those head and heart things, and we're just going to clip you up saying Wednesday going to win 2-0. We're going to score an early goal, and then we're going to get one right at the end. That's what we're going to clip, so don't worry about it.
No problem. I don't expect anything less, to be fair, to be honest. So, yeah.
No, we're not the second tier podcast. We'd never do that to anyone. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me today, mate. Let's see what happens. It's going to be another nervy one, hopefully an exciting one, hopefully a game where more than 2 goals goes in, or more than 1 goal, or more than no goals goes in, because these have been really, really bad in the last few years. So hopefully get something from it. Both teams gets a chance to cheer, but hopefully the Blades come out with the spoils. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time.